4 a.m. fam. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? We have got a lot to talk about, so strap in. We've got to talk about timeline looping and the article. Yes, I saw the article, and more information about what's coming out of LA, and the people are talking about 4 a.m. So the biggest thread that weaves all of this together is the timeline looping. So a couple weeks ago, I started talking about this. A couple months ago when Spirit told me about timeline loops, how we have collective timelines going forward, but individually and in smaller groups, we go on these little side quests, to go on these timeline loops, to work out karma, to work through different stories, to play out different scenarios. And when the time is right, we merge back together in the collective timeline. And in the last, I want to say about 2 weeks is when we really felt those timelines converge. And I brought information about that, a ton of information about that in my June preview event. You can get the link in the bio. And of course, I did a bunch of videos about timeline convergence and timeline loops here on TikTok and over on YouTube. It feels so uncanny to me that after all these months, 7 freaking months, that we've been out here in the 4 a.m. club, talk about what we've been talking about. And now the world is catching on. And not only catching on, but I am seeing so many people over on Threads, huge discussion, saying, wait a minute, I woke up too. I woke up at 3 a.m. that night. I woke up at 4 a.m. I knew something was wrong. They're finally talking about it. And you know what else they're talking about? They're talking about the contest. That's right, I'm talking about the article. Now, I have been tagged no less than 1,000 times. Not really. I've been tagged so many times in so many different creators' pieces about a recent article that was in the Economic Times and the Daily Boulder. Now, I'm going to pump the brakes just a scooch because the reason I didn't address it, it's not exactly mainstream media. Economic Times is an aggregator, and Daily Boulder is not a real news site. It is something that is one of those fake news. I don't want to say like fake news in the MAGA way. But they aggregate, they take articles, they take pieces from elsewhere, and then they publish them and put a shit ton of ads on their website because it's an ad model. It's not actually a news source. They don't do their independent reporting. They rarely even verify the stories they put out, okay? So that's my word of caution. Remember, I used to be a journalist before I went pro as a psychic. I have a background in this. However, it does not negate the fact that what they're talking about is real. This is about the lawsuit that's going on in Rockland, and it cites smart elections and smart legislation. The lawsuit going on in Rockland County that is alleging some kerfufflement with the contest numbers and is calling for a hand recount. Now, there are other things in other states. And of course, we had Mr. Muscatina himself saying out there on those Twitter streets that without him, they never would have won the election. So I am not mad about the Economic Times article because in conjunction with all of this, everyone is talking about it now. People are coming out of the woodwork now to say, well, I never thought it was right. Blah, blah, blah. You know, all the things that we've been called crazy for. Everyone is now feeling emboldened to talk about it. There is so much momentum now that it cannot and will not be stopped. Now, to me, this is one of those pieces of physical evidence of what we've been saying about the timeline looping. Because I know timelines and those kinds of concepts are really confusing. They're metaphysical. We don't really know how it works out in linear human time, granted. But what we're seeing right now is that we've been saying this for 7 damn months, okay? And now, we've been saying it, and people have lost hope, and people have called us crazy and wandered away and all those things. And now people are coming back to this truth. And this truth about the contest numbers not being right is now being more widely known. And it's as though all this momentum we had, those of us who woke up in November and we knew and we were holding that light, it's like now everyone has joined us in the spot that we've been anchoring all along. Now, what's incredible about this is that people who are coming back and anchoring it, remember, they've been going out in their own timeline loops and doing their own things. This work of ascension, this work of healing, karmic clearing that I've been talking about all these months. And if you watched my video yesterday, please do, by the way, please hop on over to YouTube and see the extended version. I talked about what's happening with ICE in LA. It's loud outside, sorry. I talked about what's happening with ICE in LA and the people's response, and I showed how this is directly what Spirit has told me about this period of karmic clearing. We are being faced with old situations, and collectively as a people, we are saying, no, we're not going to do that anymore. We are not going to put up with this anymore. And so as people go out and have the loops and heal, grow, level up, learn their lessons, all the things, they come to us on this primary timeline with power, with presence. You hear the cry. I'm parked near a school. My windows are open. I can't get a moment's peace in my own house, so I leave to do a video and I hear other children's noises. Mom life. Okay, so the final thing I want to say about the situation, well, there's two things I want to say about LA. Number one, we have people arguing about what's really happening because we're seeing different kinds of footage, right? In some of these videos, people are dancing. It's peaceful. It's a party. The police are just hanging out, eating their snacks. In other footage, it's pretty scary and it's getting pretty intense. So what's the truth about what's happening? Well, the truth is LA is big and different things are happening in different places. So we're not going to argue about who's right, who's wrong, what's really happening. We're going to unify and we're going to say what we are seeing is a united response from the people. And in different areas, as ICE, as federal, because now they've federalized the troops, as they are having a reactive response, an aggressive response to the protesters, things are heating up in those areas. But we're not going to allow one instance or one area to categorize the entire movement. People are responding as they can and as they need to, and we are going to offer our energetic support for those who are standing up to these atrocious policies. And that is the final thing I want to talk about. That Saturday night after I made my initial video, I tuned in energetically to the situation in LA. And I made a video, it's in my draft, but didn't feel right to post it because people were still scared and deeply upset by what's going on. But the energy that I got, I have chills again, do you feel it? The energy I got was of jubilation, magic, tingles, sparkles, elation. It is, do you hear the people sing? This is the energetic turning point. This is when the revolution becomes made known and we become a united force, an energetic force that cannot be pushed back. This is that tipping point we've been waiting for, where the will of the people makes itself known to the point that those in power can no longer agree and can no longer keep control over it. They're going to try. They're absolutely trying, and they are going to fail. This is Ascension, period. This is the people healing, joining together, rising up. This is how it's done, and we are at that point. So remember a couple days ago when I said, what if this is it? Please go back and watch that video. It is so hopeful, so incredible, and so helpful for navigating what we are seeing now with the pure potential of what is about to be unleashed. I will do another video on that about the current state of it when I tune in and have some time there. But for now, it is a good day. Please do not be dragged down. Do not be dragged down by the heavier emotions about what's happening. Please understand, this is the revolution. It is happening now. Stand up in power, stand up in joy, send your energy of solidarity. This is how it's done. We are doing it.